Hello, parents. Today's session is really very special for a reason because we are not just going to talk about studies or tips and strategies on how we can bring up our children as a leader. We are going to understand what's happening inside us before we move on to our children. And for that, I'm truly excited to introduce someone who has been working very closely with women, especially parents. She is an emotional intelligence coach as well as an award-winning L&D expert and a leading voice in emotional intelligence for the past 25 years. As a founder of GG Academy and the best-selling author of Test Your Wings and Power Your Wings, she specializes in helping high-performing leaders achieve embodied authority, building deep influence and firm boundaries without the burnout. Please join me in warming welcoming the coach Geeta Ravishankar to our podcast session today, where we build leaders step by step, one at a time.
Thank
Uh,
you, Kiruthika, for
Hello,
that
ma'am.
beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation and coming to this podcast, especially for our leaders and helping their parents how they can emotionally build up first before they guide their children. So, here today, I have a very highly selected set of questions, real questions from
Mm-hmm.
our parents
Mm-hmm.
who are in our community, as well as there
Okay.
are a few other parents who wanted to jump in for this podcast session to get their questions answered. So all the questions that I'm going to post you today are from real parents, which has
Okay.
deep emotions inside that. So
Absolutely.
so we will be organizing, like I'll be posting the questions in such a way that it goes like phase by phase. Like
Okay.
first of all, because when I talk about parents, it's obviously about their children. But
Mm.
before, as I said, before we go for the children, we'll connect with the parents, what's happening within the parents, so that we'll sorted that out and then move on to the session. I mean, kids part. So parents who are listening this, today's session is not just about listening. It's about reflecting. All the questions we are going to discuss today are the real questions from parents just like you. So as you listen, don't think this is someone else's problem. Ask yourself, am I going through this somewhere in my life? So let's begin with something very real. The first question is, and as you know, ma'am, like many parents now are working, like especially the
Yes.
moms are working nowadays. So they are emotionally exhausted, like managing work, home, children, and their expectations. And somewhere in between all this, they lose themselves. So my question is from this. So she is the mom of two kids. And after 12 years, you can literally imagine the career break. She
Mm.
got a job, and after her duty, like all the office works, I'm fully exhausted. She says that I'm fully exhausted, not interested to teach my kids and do the household activities.
Mm.
This is not that I don't like to do it, but I wanted to, but I'm exhausted. How to
Mm.
rectify it? Thank you in advance for your valuable advice.
See, Kritika, the parent was on a hiatus for 12 years, right? And now she is back to work. This is what I call as the cognitive load. There is a too much of load on her mind, and there is stress also, and there is focus on her job first now. At this point of time, what I will ask her to do is, when you are in the job, be 100% there. The presence is what matters. It's not about how much work, but the presence that matters.
Right.
So when you are in the work, just be there. Forget about home. But once you reach home, our mind and our emotions, our body, as well as our mental, this and our emotions, all needs a reset, because the environment from the workplace to the home is in an entirely different space. So what I will ask that super mom to do is clock it out. And what do I mean by clock it out? I want her to undergo a depression ritual. I'm sorry, a decompression ritual, not the depression ritual, decompression ritual. And what is that? That means leaving the residue of what you had been carrying throughout the day out and entering into a new cloth or new form when you enter the house. And how do you do that? There are three things that you can do. Either take a coffee break, sit all alone with a cup of coffee, have that coffee, enjoy it, and relax for 10-20 minutes. Forget about the kid, forget about everything at home there. After, or you can, what you can do is take a shower bath. And while you are taking the shower bath, you can cleanse yourself saying, I release everything that I had been carrying throughout the day. And by doing that and by making that practice, you will release the stress and the emotional burden that you had been carrying. And you're not carrying that home then. After your bath, you will feel refreshed. Then go for the next thing at home. That way, you are spending about 20 to 30 minutes on yourself, where neither your job nor your children or your house is affecting you. It's a me time. And that me time will give you the energy to go the further mile that you have at home. See that and practice it to see the results.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I clearly understand. So, by the way, what you said is really relatable, because when we come out of that, work, we are already exhausted physically. But after coming home, seeing all these chores, again, you become overwhelmed with all the duties that are there. So, exactly what every working woman need is a me time, even if it is as small as 30 minutes. Well
Yes,
said, ma'am. Well said. Excellent. I hope this would be really helpful. And anyone can get results only when you practice it consistently. So
absolutely.
do it for a minimum of a week and see the change, and then know your comments.
And Kritika,
And
there is one more thing that I would like to add. There is
yes,
nothing wrong in telling your kids and family members that I am running on a low battery. Let me just recharge it for 30 minutes. I'll come back stronger. That teaches even the kids to how to manage your energy.
correct.
You are setting the step for your kid as well, and to tell them that they also need energy management in their life. You're
Correct.
setting them early in life. So
Yes.
never take guilt on that. Take that me time of 20 to 30 minutes and see the difference in your life yourself.
Yes, exactly, ma'am. Well said. That's really powerful. I know kids are learning from parents, so this also a learning for them. So well said, exactly. And my next question for you is, ma, like again on parents' emotions. I get angry on small mistakes and shout out very badly. I think this is for the child. I think like they shout at the kids. I hope. Few minutes later, I realized that I should not be so harsh, but it's already over. It happens only if the mistake is done repetitively. Yeah, this is the question from the parent. I hope that parent is meaning the child here. So, what is your take on this?
See, there is, whenever a child is angry or in an emotional outburst, the every parent needs to understand is let that emotion be vented out. Don't make your child guilty for feeling that emotion. Emotions are everywhere, everyone has it. But you are not your emotion and they are not their emotion. So don't be judgmental on them. Let them vent out. But once it is done, sit with them. Sit with them and set your boundaries. Tell them your angry monster was out today, but it is allowed once in a while, not every day. So, what you do when you get angry or you have something harsh to tell is there is a particular time in the day. Fix a day, time in every day wherein a parent will get to hear from the child honest replies, whether it is anger, whether it is dissatisfaction, whether it is venting out or anything. Particular time. just 30 minutes. Keep it with your kid and tell them this is the time when you can vent out everything, but not throughout the day and any time and every time of the day. And one more thing, when you are angry, I want you to write it down on the paper, not shout out, because you are changing the energy of the house, teaching them early on how to manage emotions is a difficult task at first, but once done, they will thank you for life. So you also can do the same thing. At times we all shout out, we all went out, right? There is nothing wrong. But once it is done, once it has subsided, if you are angry, you had been shouting, go and tell them. Tell the child, I'm sorry, I was on the low of energy, I had a burst. I'm sorry about it. There's nothing wrong in that. Let them understand that once in anger, if they have burst out, that does not mean the relationship is in danger. Because when you shout, what happens is the child takes it as a relationship in danger, and they either subside themselves or go into a recluse or they become rebellious. So you need to balance that out. So teach them how to regulate the emotion. Taking a particular time in the day to vent out each other's energy is the best option. The second is ask them to write down instead of shouting. Tell them whatever you have on your mind, write it down and give me that paper. I will read it, I'll understand, I'll come back to you and sit with you. One more thing, when the kid or you are angry, you will speak languages, you will speak phrases and words that you should never use. But once done, apologize and set the boundaries again right, that this is not done, neither for you, neither for them.
Well said, ma'am. Excellent explanation. Even in my program, no, like I keep on telling the parents, like whenever the parent comes up with a complaint, I first ask the parents to analyze, is that the emotion you showed on the kid all the time? Because most of the time, before
They are
even
reflecting.
we realize, they are reflecting. You will come to know once they reflect. We think it is their problem. To
Mm,
be frank, it's our problem. Whatever the child
absolutely.
reflects, it starts from us actually. It started from us. They observed all these years. Now it's
Mhm.
time for them to show up all those things back again. So, very well said. So, as you said, the two things the parents can do is calm that situation first down, step out, and then take a time to vent out all your feelings and emotions. Talk with the child, acknowledge their feelings, and then, set the boundaries for the child as well as for yourself, to be frank. I hope that will really work. And parents who can't do this can try out the next step as well, go and write it. And I'm super happy that we also follow something in our program like emotional tracker, where we ask the parents to track out their emotions. What can
Mm.
be their response? What can be their, trigger? Everything we ask them to analyze. I hope this would be a bellbound for all my parents in the community, that this same answer comes from an emotional intelligence coach as well. I'm so happy that you brought up, ma'am. Journaling is one thing which everybody has to follow. Very nice, ma'am. Thank you for that. And our
Thank you.
next question is, what to do if my family doesn't allow me to do what I wanted to do and doesn't support me? Because I
Okay.
cannot do anything against them. This must be one common concern for most of the ladies, particularly. I do something, but my family says a different thing. How to overcome this, ma'am?
See, we are all born with our own journeys. We become wife, we become daughters, we have multiple roles in our life. But everyone around us to support us is not going to happen. Females need to understand that very clearly. They have their own journeys. We have our own journeys. Companions, kids, families come together because there are lessons we need to learn and they have to learn. But asking them to come along with your journey completely will not happen. Once this theory gets into your head, half the journey is sorted. Then you will know that you are alone going to travel your journey. Then you will know how to set your path and go ahead with that. One is that thing. The second is there is something called as the what do you say, the stakeholder management, right? Those who are your stakeholders might be your husband, might be your kids, might be your family, in-laws, whatever they are, or whoever they are. Once in a while you need to sit with them and state clearly without the frills and the grills that you make. We make big of stories. Don't make stories. Just be very precise and tell them, this is what I love doing. I had been doing it for this much of time, and it has given me immense joy, or whatever it has given you. And tell them, I am doing it without it affecting the family or any of my responsibilities at home. So I would love to continue with it. I would appreciate if everybody helps. If nobody helps as well, I'm going to continue it. But that doesn't mean you are fighting them. Understand one thing, there is a difference between fighting and putting out straightforward things. So put your things straightforward without frills and the story, because the story drowns your purpose. So don't make stories, just state the facts and tell them this is it. And one more thing, understanding one thing, as I said in the beginning itself, is your journey is yours. If everybody is coming along, you are much more happier. If nobody is coming along, be Steve Jobs, do it all along anyway.
Correct. Well said. I understand one thing here because we most of the time we don't communicate exactly what we needed to. We fear, we judge that person will say the same thing. Most of the leaders might be revolving around these thoughts before they communicate. I think
Absolutely.
that setting the clear communication, like set up time and talk to them directly, will help you sort out 50% of the problem. Right, ma'am?
Absolutely.
Correct. Very, very good. Very good insight on that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we'll slowly move to kids section, I would say, which is the biggest,
Hmm.
brain eating thing for most of the parents. So the first question is, ma'am, why do small kids, as small as 3 years old, tell their parents, I will hit you. I'm angry. Next time, don't do this to me. Okay? Like they demand more. So
Mhm.
why do such small kids come up with a lot of, emotions and anger? This is the question by one of the parent again. Yeah. What's your
I
take on
have a question to that parent. The kid was not born with that vocabulary. Where did the child get that vocabulary from? Absolutely, from within the family
that?
or from the surrounding. So one needs to check our own vocabulary. Am I using this vocabulary to the kid? Until and unless we as parents are using that vocabulary, the kid will not get it. Now, since the kid has already got that vocabulary, we will have to work on both of us. That is, as the parent, on myself and the kid as well. So, how do you do that? You can tell them that once you get angry, we will blow out the angry candles. This is one exercise I let parents do. So, what is the angry exercise? Whenever you get angry, breathe in big and then blow out huge. Okay, so you're blocking out that anger by inhaling and exhaling. Inevitably, you're teaching the child anger management without even telling them, and you are doing it yourself. So, one thing is check your own vocabulary and the vocabulary being used around the kid, either by you or the elders in the home or anybody else in the surrounding or vicinity of the kid. Second is teach them anger management. Tell them it is not good to hit anyone, be it a small animal, even an ant. It is not good. So what is better is we learn anger management. We blow out our anger candles by inhaling and exhaling. That is one way of doing it. The second could be, if you do not say these words over and over again, I'm going to reward you with something good. Could be as small as a taking them out to a shop, or when you are going out, taking them on the bike. This could be a reward system that you can install if the kid doesn't use these words. And I tell you, keep it very strict. Even once they use it, don't go out. But in the beginning, if the frequency is like 50 times a day, if they reduce it by 10 times, take them out. The next time, reduce the bar again, lower it until it reaches zero. And then when they have reached zero, and then if they are using it, don't take them out. So this could be one way of doing it. The first and the best thing is the angry candles. That works wonderfully well for either the parents and the kids as well.
Yes, very nice thought, ma'am. I think one thing I understand from this, your answer is that kids are not the problem, basically. It's the environment that they are living in. Very well said. And I think this blowing out exercise will be good for your lungs as well, like a breathing
Yes,
exercise.
it's an overall exercise for both the parent, kid,
Parent as
and the
well as it.
body.
Yes, yes, yes. Very nice, ma'am. So my next question is, my daughter doesn't want to study. Even when I
Mhm,
ask her to sit for just 5 minutes, she
mhm,
refuses. When I
mhm.
ask her how long she will need to finish, she says she hasn't played enough and wants to keep playing all the time. So, how can the parent rectify this one?
Okay, this is something what I call the dopamine contract. Okay, when she plays, she gets that dopamine, and when she is studying, she is not getting that dopamine. So what do? There has to be a motivational design that has to be worked out. The cost, that is the study, is currently higher than the reward, that is play. She wants to play, but that is not the reward is taking the higher place now for her. So what do is, you can do a visual contract kind of thing. What is this? What do I mean by visual contract? Say like, if you study for 1 hour, I'll let you play for half an hour without disturbing, without even asking or doing anything. That is a contract wherein you will have to step in, because that 1 hour of study will give you more ROI than any other thing. Even the entire day study will not give that ROI. So it is better to give them a concentrated time for study, and tell them, once that is done, I'll give you this much time of playing hours. This is the kind of contract that you will have to work in. Now, every child is different. You will have to mix and match and see what works for your kid, and then design that motivational design in a way that it perfects your design and your intent, but at the same time is fulfilling her dopamine intake as well.
Correct. Well said, ma'am. I think this parent, the child must be very small age, I think so. But this is one thing we teach in our program as well, because whenever they play, both their right and left brain are involved in it. But when they
Hmm.
study, one day only their logical brain is involved, the other
Brain is
is not
active.
working.
Hmm.
So we teach something, we do certain activities like techniques and secrets we follow, where
Hmm.
both the brains are activated, so we make the learning enjoyable. So that
Hmm.
dopamine they have to, whatever they are getting in play, has to be brought in here as well.
Right.
So that is one thing all the parents can try out, where kids learn this also, like studies also in a fun way.
Yeah.
Very well said, ma'am. Like, right. The dopamine shift has to be given to them in
Hmm.
this. So, as you said, some reward system can also help them, make them, start it at least. Once the
Yeah.
momentum is created, everything falls
Then
in
you can
place.
change it.
Yes, super. And I think many parents here feel my child is not like this before. I don't know
Hmm.
what has happened. She changed completely now.
Hmm.
So now we are going to step into the real struggles currently the parents are facing now. The one is Okay, I think this is a question from the parent for herself. There are times when people leave me out of conversations, even when
Mm-hmm.
I'm in very close proximity, and when I
Mm-hmm.
choose to ignore them, they try and pull me into the conversation for the sake of it. How do I handle such situations, and how do I respond to people who approach me only when they want some work to be done from my end of what a favor from me or want a favor from me? So I think this can be in a office environment or it can be in a house environment also. I don't know.
It could be both side.
Both. It could be both also. So the parent feels like she's left out in the conversation only for the sake if they want something else from herself, they are approaching her. So what you suggest for her, ma?
See, you will have people of this kind everywhere.
Correct,
It's
correct.
not just your job, it's not just your home, it's not just family. Everywhere people are like that. Here, what the issue is actually the boundary issue. The boundaries are not set right. You have not told them how you want to be treated. That is why their treatment is going wrong. When we teach people to treat us the wrong way, more than them, we are on the wrong. So we have to correct our boundaries first. If they are leaving you out, just be passive. Just walk away and do something which is much more exciting than what they are doing. If you are in a work environment, get into a project that is exciting enough to drive you crazy and giving you the visibility that everybody is craving for. This way, you are not just escaping a gossip circle, you are building visibility and visible product for yourself. That way, you're cutting them down. You're not being left out, you're cutting them down instead. It's the other way around. Same way for the family. If somebody mistreats you, never go again. Or do something which brings visibility to you, not to them. So it is about boundaries, it is about visibility. Work on that. It is kind of a silent protest. You're not angry, you're not shouting, you're not yelling. But at the same time, you are telling them directly that this is not how I intend to be treated myself. I know what my worth and I stand my worth.
Correct, ma'am. Well said. Powerful question because many ladies would have felt this. And I understand one thing, we have to create our self-esteem, self-respect in this regard. Don't feel bad if they are, doing that sort. Build your own visibility, create something for yourself which brings their attention towards you rather than we going behind them. Very powerful. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. And the next question that we have is, how do I handle my child's behavior when they talk to me as I wear a wall? I think there are no emotions. I feel so. That must be the case. How do I handle my child's behavior when they talk to me as I wear a wall?
The best thing is to do is the mirroring effect.
What is that,
Best
ma'am?
thing is mirroring effect. If your child treats you like a wall, stop pushing. If there is a wall, you don't have to push, right? You will not try to push. Same thing. Don't push. But instead use micro attunement to your work or the kind of behavior that you do. And now what is that? You like can do a no string attached kind of treatment. If the child is painting, you can say, that's good. Leave it at that. No judgment, no corrections, no opinions. Just being there. Your presence is there, but at the same time, your interaction is minimal. But your presence is absolutely there. You're showing them you are interested in their work. You are showing them you are there overlooking them, but at the same time, you're not interfering into their work.
Hmm.
Slowly and slowly, they will lower their social guard and the connection will happen. But for that, the parent needs to have patience, and patience comes very costly. You will have to keep our tongue, our vocabulary, our anger, our trust issues with ourselves. not let them on to the kid. One more thing, most important is your presence should be felt by the kid. You should not feel like, Matt, I am showing my presence. No. The kid should feel your presence without being told your presence. And that presence will make that correction of that relationship and make it so amicable that he will or she will come to you to talk to you themselves once that is said. But for that, have a little patience.
That is the biggest, luxury anyone can have in this period. All these times the parents were pampering so much, teaching them, guiding them. I think this question must be from a teenage parent.
Mhm.
When I can see that emotion, because nowadays teens they don't like to get any advice, they don't like to get any judgment. I really, really appreciate your answer. I truly take that in, because what we need is patience. We will have to wait for them, because all these years we were guiding, guarding, doing everything. Now it's a time for us to step out and watch them, and you know just give them that you are there, your presence. That is one of the difficult tasks for all the teenage kids parents. But yes, that is what we need right now. Well said, ma'am. Thank you so much for that insightful answer. The next
Kritika,
question.
there is one more thing behind
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
When we were kids, we had neighborhood kids coming home, we
Correct.
had siblings, we had interactions. But
Correct.
today's kids, most of them are single kids.
Correct,
So
ma'am.
they are the king or the queen in the house. They get so pampered, they get everything on instant demand.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly, ma'am.
When you go out, this doesn't happen. And that
True.
brings them to a wall kind of situation. And that is the building of the wall around them that they build. So, lower that guard, you will have to teach them sharing is also caring, not just in words, but by intention. So, how do you do that? Take them to the parks early on when they are very young kids, taking them to the parks, taking them to places where people are there around, letting them mix with people is a very important ingredient in learning. And I have seen that kids who had been mingling with other kids and parents and all kind of age group people are better learners than kids who have been pampered and just been kept wrapped up at home. So
Correct.
make it much more amicable for the kids to grow up. They need to see life, to live life on their own. Don't pamper them. Don't so be so protective of them that they forget what life is all about.
Correct.
And at the strongest or the least intervention of something that isn't to be there, they just break down. Don't let that happen to your kid.
Correct. Well said, ma'am. Excellent. So this answer should be heard by every parent. I hope that is what happening currently, which is the main root cause for all the behavior issues that they get later on. Very thanks to you for bringing up that. And our next question is, ma'am, my daughter. Okay. Yeah, I think not. This is. Let me come back to the next one. Yeah, this is again a teenager, like a parent of a teenager. My daughter doesn't come and tell me anything about what happens in her life, starting from when she was 2.5 years old. I thought
Mhm.
she was too young to remember anything from playgroup or nursery when she was small. However, still, she doesn't come and tell me unless I ask her about it. Even then,
Mhm.
she says it bare minimum. So, how this parent can help her teenager to come up, make a connection basically.
Now, how old is she?
Uh, Between 13 to 16, probably, because that
Okay.
is the option the parent has selected. The kid age is between 13 to 16.
Okay. This means there is a fear element in the kid, right? Just when she was very young, there is a fear that has got in her. And now, how do you break it? You will have to bring in that safety net thing in your house. The parent and the child should have that safety net feeling. The child should not being has to feel like there could be siblings. There, I'm just guessing, there could be siblings as well to her, or she might be getting judged. That is one issue that could be shutting her down. So, to open this up, instead of interviewing her all the time or blaming her or shifting your attention from her to other things, instead, what the parent should do is build a bridge. And that bridge can only be built through vulnerability. When you're sitting in the room, you sit with in the same room with the kid, practice it daily. Be in the same room with the kid, not interacting with her, not interfering with her, but just be in the room in the initial stages. Later on, just start to say, I had a bad day. You know what happened in my office today or at home today? This is what happened. And I felt left out, or I felt drained. I felt insulted, whatever you felt. Start sharing your journey. Your safety guard let it down before the kid so that she imbibes it to know that it is okay to share with her mom whatever is happening around her. Slowly and steadily, you will have to work it on. It might take about 4 to 6 months, but I tell you, if you are doing it intentionally every day by choice, not as a compulsion, things will turn around. And give her that psychological safety net, the safe zone in the house where she is not judged, she is not blamed, she is not questioned, she is not interviewed. That will bring in the change around.
Very nice, ma'am. I remember one thing when you say that there is a saying that no child needs a perfect mother or a father. They need a lovable parent,
Yes,
that's what they need. The more of like, pure connection rather than judgment, more than anywhere else, it happens in the family most of the time, especially with the parents judging.
yes.
So I think this will really help the parent who has asked this question for sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now let's move on to the next question, which is um okay, this is again a working parent. When I feel to take rest for few minutes, that time only my child understands that, means that realizes that mom is taking rest, that I will give my mobile phone, so that if he disturbs me that time, like what whenever she's taking rest, the child is seeing it as an opportunity to get the mobile phone because she is completely exhausted, that is the right time to get that mobile phone. And so otherwise he disturbs or
Hmm.
she disturbs. How to handle this situation? So they are clever enough to understand when the parent is tired. So how can we handle when we are exhausted right at that time?
Uh, to say, tell you this, actually, this is a kind of a threatening kind of thing that the kid used, right? If you don't give me the phone, I'm going to disturb you, right?
Yes,
To set it right, there could be another thing that can be done. This is actually a loop of wherein I would say there is a lack of emotional skill and emotional literacy in the kid. Okay. And that training has to start now.
correct.
And how do you do that training is you give them, you can speak, sit with them, set them the boundaries. Like, this is my sleeping or my rest nap time for half an hour or 30, whatever time you have. And then tell them, if you don't disturb me in this, I'll give you the phone for this many minutes. If you disturb me, you won't get the phone for these many hours. That is, you're setting your authority there. You are the parent, set your authority, but set it in a way that is not hurting but connecting. So you are setting your boundaries right. You're telling them, if you're not disturbing, you will get for this many minutes. And if you're disturbing even once, you will not get it for this many hours. Instead, while you are sleeping, create an activity which is involving the kids' mental and emotional things. It could be something like a play, it could be something which is engaging them, drawing, painting, something which is engaging them. Give them that when you are sleeping or taking a nap or rest instead of giving the phone. Cut that bond right today. Once you start doing it, I'm also warning you. First thing is there will be a burst out. It will happen. It is automatic. because there is a cut in the dopamine that the child is having. So obviously there will be a burst out. It is expected. So just let that venting out come out. But once it is done, sit down, set your boundaries right, and take the authority back in your hand. And then don't be leaking on your authority. Once in a while you are giving, don't do
Yes.
that. If you say
Yes.
one thing, do that thing properly.
Correct, correct. Yes, ma'am. I literally understand what you said, that especially the last point, because parents feel they say no to mobile phones all the time. When they are suddenly exhausted like this, they give
Hmm.
the mobile phone. So
Hmm.
that is where the child understands the pattern, okay, this is the right time. If I disturb,
Yeah.
definitely I'll give the, well, they are super, super, smart. So really understand that. So setting the clear boundary and cutting off something they lose or will be a good thing for them to understand this first of all. And yes, really that parent would feel relaxed now using this technique. And my next question is, ma'am, my child is very fearful. We went to water amusement park and she got fever because those experience made her more fearful instead of enjoying joyfulness. So and there's some related question to this is, how do I remove the bad experiences of getting beaten from subconscious mind of my children? I'm not sure, it may be related with trauma. Is this really a trauma? How do I identify all this, which the kids believe it and they take it as their own persona for themselves? Like, how do I first of all understand all these things, beliefs that my child has, whether a trauma has gone happened in their life, or some type of this fearfulness, say for example the child gets it, imbibes it because of certain instances. How do I understand first, and then how do we remove that for our children?
Okay. The first thing is, to understand this, you will need to take time, presence, and a lot of patience. Thing is, you will have to talk about that scary thing, but talk about the scary thing in the coziest, comfortable setting that can be possible. Like, if I tell you, you are in a beautiful vacation, you are on a beautiful vacation, while you are sitting on the beach, you can tell them that, I know how scary that water race was, right? It also scared me as well. The setting has to, where you're talking about a scary thing, the setting where you're talking should be a very comfortable, very warm place. Don't talk about scary things in a scary place itself. It matters a lot. Or when the kid is between the parents are sitting either side and the kid is sitting in between, both of them can have a hand on the kid, on the shoulders, and then say how comfortable it is feeling right now, right? It's so cozy between us all three. But that day, it was so scary. I was also scared about it. This kind of thing, when you do it, you're actually acknowledging your past. You're acknowledging that there is something has happened. You're not running away from it. First of all, it is whatever has happened, whatever incident, acknowledge it. Unless you acknowledge it, it will keep eating your head. It will be on your mind. It will eat you emotionally. So acknowledge it first. Once it is acknowledged, then do the neuroplasty, that is rewiring of your brain. That is, change the script altogether in your brain. Then talk about, if that had happened this way, how they would have felt. Or if they had gone to the water thing all together, three of them together, how good it would have felt. Change the narrative. Change the narrative of the scary thing in the brain of the child by neuroplasticity. Since the child is young, even in the adults, this neuroplasticity can work wonderfully well on the subconscious healing. So, to heal the subconscious, this is how it is done. In a comfortable place, in a comfortable setting, talk about the scariest thing they had in their life, acknowledge it, and then re-script the entire story and replant it in the kid. This is
Mm.
how healing happens.
Good. So, what I understand is make the scariest part itself a comfortable one, first of all, for the child.
To talk about.
And yeah, and then bring slowly to a healing moment where this can also be made like this, can
Yes.
be seen like this.
Yes.
And
The
how
thing
do
is
I?
acknowledge,
Mm,
accept, and then heal.
yes. And how do a parent identify is there any trauma in the kid? No? That is the next question was that only. Like how they can understand that is a trauma for the child.
If on speaking multiple times the kid is afraid to speak about it, then definitely there is something deeper in it. You
Mm,
try it at home first. If you find it's not coming out by yourself, seek help. There are n number of coaches and mentors available today. One more thing I want to add with this is not all mentors are for the kid. Choose wisely.
correct, correct,
Work with the right person. Don't be fearful or don't be hesitant to change the coach or mentor if you don't feel right for the kid,
correct.
because not everyone fits the same size.
Yes,
So work on your kid. Your kid is your priority, nobody else. So
correct.
whatever comfortably works with the kid, work on that side
Yes.
and ask for help outside if you are not able to do it yourself.
Correct, exactly, ma'am. I really appreciate that because you brought in that. There are lots of, people who are helping out on these, trauma things and other things, but they are very hesitant to, first of all, approach them. So I think all the parents to have to understand, not only like a parent as even the adults also have to
Right.
understand all these are available for them to help them basically. Very thankful to you for bringing up that point as well here. And coming to our next question, ma. Yes, once again. Managing stress, anger, or overthinking. How do we manage all these things? Like difficult to explain in words, but these are key issues when it comes to the child.
The
So how
first,
do we manage? The child is
okay.
16 plus.
Mhm.
So they are asking how we manage the stress, anger, overwhelming, and they're having difficulty to explain in words how they feel when it comes especially to the child part.
16 means the child is a teen, right?
Correct.
They are undergoing 100 kind of changes within themselves physiologically, right? Mentally, emotionally as well. And in this world of today, when everything is instant, they want to be everywhere. The fear of losing out is so much in them. Today's kids, our Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, are facing so much challenges that we never had in our lives.
Correct.
They have a different set of challenge than what we had. So don't compare your challenges with them. Don't tell them stories of your challenges because they were
Correct.
challenging and you are still saying so about your difficulty for such small things. No, it might not be that small for them.
Mm.
For them they are big things. To an adult it might seem small, to them that they are big things. So when you have teenagers at home, the first thing that I advise all the parents is sit with the kid. Sit with the kid. Don't instruct, don't advise, don't ask them for discipline and other things. It should not come out with the words. You show them what is meant by it. Show them so that they imbibe it themselves. Don't take it out in words. The first and foremost thing, there should be an hour in the house when every member in the house is sitting together. Share stories throughout the day, both parents and the kids. And when the kids are speaking, please don't judge them, don't question them, don't irritate them. Let them speak. Once this thing sets in a few weeks, you will see how comfortable it becomes for the kid to speak to you, to open up, to chase things, and to chase their dreams. Because something that they cannot speak to you, they are speaking to outsiders. And today you cannot guess who that outsider can be.
Correct.
It could be Chat GPT, it could be anyone else outside the world in the world. So to take and make that space safe within the house, you will have to give them that happy hour within the family where they can really open up without being judged. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel that they are home in their safest zone. Give them that comfort. Once that you start offering, you will see the change happening. That doesn't mean that you lose out on your authority. That doesn't mean that child becomes indisciplined. That doesn't mean that you let out anything. No, that 1 hour is that safe zone. Apart from that, be the mom, the dad you are. But at the same time, when you have teens at home, check out your behavior, check out your vocabulary, check out how you treat your spouse and partner, check out how you behave with your kid, because they are learning from you for the future.
Exactly. Very nice. Very, you know, mind blowing as well as heart touching. As if you summarize all the questions together, the ultimate core that from your answers I can understand is everything goes with the connection and communication, right?
Absolutely. The
So,
presence. It
correct,
means
presence.
a lot. It means a lot.
Especially when it comes to the bigger kids, the problems also big goes deeper.
Yes.
So the only one simple thing every parent whoever listening to this should imbibe that connection, proper communication, and most importantly your presence. That's all they need, isn't it, ma'am? So coming to almost, we reached almost all the questions. Only very few questions we have.
Mhm.
How to avoid sibling rivalry if the elder one, always tries to dominate the younger one, or the younger one do some silly things which triggers the elder one. How do we manage these in our home?
There is one set of rules that you will have to follow. Don't get in between them. It's between them. Let it be in between them. They will sort it out. If they can't sort it out, have an happy hour in the home when they can bring it to you. And then you can just suggest. Don't implement things for them. Don't implement, don't instruct, don't give advice. Just suggest. If I had been in your place, I could have probably done that. That works better than opinions, judgments.
Correct. Very small question, but I think every parent will
Yeah,
have
very
this,
relevant one.
irrespective of what their age difference is. Always, Amma, Appa, they will always call for help. But the very
Hmm.
difficult part is we should not step in immediately. That's what I
Yes,
understand from your answer.
yes.
Very nice of you for bringing in that. Yeah, which we already covered. I think, yeah, we have covered almost all the questions, I hope. And yeah, thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, for sharing all your insights on how do we, guide our parents on how to guide their children. All these tips and strategies and, might not work when it comes to emotions, but what really works is your connection and communication, and most importantly, your presence. So, to conclude, I would ask you three simple questions which all the parents can take away right from this session directly. My very first question is, what are the three daily emotional habits every parent must build at home for a better
I would say
connection?
the first should be self audit.
Hmm.
Audit your emotion. I call it name it to tame it. Okay. So what you do is whenever you are angry, whenever you're frustrated, you sit down for a second, take 3 deep breaths, and then there is another exercise also, what I call as the 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, name one thing that you see instantly, two things that you are hearing about, or three things what you can touch right now, four things that you want in life, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 or 4 things that you can do at that present moment. Or the thing is, you take 3 deep breath and exhale. And then try to name that emotion that is right now in your chest, which is building up. The moment your chest tightens, there is something holding up. So the moment you realize that your chest is a little tightened, release it. Name it to release it. Name it to tame it. That is the first exercise. The second is 5 minute connection before correction. Whenever you have to correct your child or correct your partner, take that 5 minutes for connection first. Just sit with them. Don't touch, don't help, don't talk. Just be with them for just 5 minutes. That is pure presence. And the last, active mirroring. If the other person is saying, this is really frustrating, tell them, yes, I think it's really frustrating you, right? Just mirror them. Don't question them. If you do these three things, obviously the other person at the other end will calm down. You will also feel relaxed. The other person will also be relaxed and you can talk amicably.
Superb, ma'am. My next question is how parents build trust so children open up naturally. I think
Okay.
this has already has a little bit of answer from the previous one, but still, yeah.
For this, I will say, parents, please don't act as fixers. Be the containers instead. What do I mean by that is, instead of judging them, giving them immediate solutions, or lecturing them, or giving them your opinion, hear them out. Be non judgmental. Give them suggestions instead. Don't give them opinions and judgments. Suggest. This could seem better to me. This feels better to me. Try it out. Maybe it might work for you. They will listen to this much better than your opinion or your directions. And believe me, after a few times, they will start feeling more at ease with you, more comfortable with you than any of their friends. They go to their friends because they are their containers. When you become their container instead of fixer, you are containing them in your love and you're telling them this is their safe zone. They can come here for anything and everything. That makes a huge difference in a child's life.
Superb, ma'am. Simply superb. The last question. What is one mindset shift every parent must take today?
Okay. We all manage emotions, right? We are good architects of managing emotions.
Correct.
Anger, we are blown out. Yeah. This is how we manage. And when we are sad, we will either, if it's a female particularly, she will just make it underground, push it under the blanket or the rug. Or if it's a male, they will show all the tantrums around, throw things, blow things up, and make this thing. Understand one thing. What you're doing is you're throwing away your authority, your presence, your that instant meaning meeting of outburst is showing your child the future. The minute that thing sets in here, that whatever I'm showing today is going to reflect back in the future from my kid, your behavior will change automatically. That is, manage your behavior instead of your emotions and meet the needs for the future, not the present. By doing that thing, you are not just acting on the tip of the iceberg, you are evaluating the entire iceberg, upper and the lower end as well, and setting the standards for your home, for your society, for your country.
Correct, exactly. Well said, Geeta ma'am. I'm really impressed by all your answers, to be frank. Yes,
Thank you.
most of the parents, they keep on correcting. That is what, like, as a parent, that is natural. They feel that sometimes that is bad also, but that is all natural. But ultimately, we have to think that how we can help our children,
Yes.
keeping their future, our future, everything in mind. We have to always ask how we can help them. and how they can help themselves even if we are not there. Well
Right.
said, ma'am, for all the deep answers that you brought in today. Thank you so much for that. And if a parent is watching this and feeling overwhelmed by any chance, what is that one step they should take immediately now?
Lower your bar for perfection. There is nothing called perfection in this world. Life exists in the gray part, neither in the black nor in the white. There is nothing called the absolute black and the absolute white. Life happens in the gray part. Understanding that itself means leave always the scope for repair anywhere and everywhere. Don't damage things beyond repair. Always you should do things wherein there is a scope for repair. If you are overwhelmed, you will, if you know that you are going to snap, leave the room, leave the place. You can tell them, I am overwhelmed. I need just 5 minutes. I'll come back later. Leave that space. Once you go out, breathe, calm down, come back, and then talk. That is okay. It's a very powerful tool on emotional intelligence. And nobody can be 100% cool dad or cool mom. I promise, neither I had been. I had learned all this from my mistakes. I had been a mother, I am a mother, I am the mother of a 25-year-old. So I have seen all these things. And what I have learned is what I am teaching today. The mistakes that I did, I don't want you to make. So don't do anything which is beyond repair. Leave the scope of repair in every relationship that you have. It is the most powerful tool. And when you are overwhelmed, when there is a constraint on your chest, never speak. Please don't speak. Because what you speak might make things so damaged that you cannot repair it further.
Yes.
And there is nothing better than coming back and saying, I'm sorry. This happened. I'm sorry. Let's try to make it better. There is no beautiful words than this.
Correct. Excellent, ma'am. Excellent. Well said. Really, really, I'm happy and I'm really grateful that we had a session on this, particularly for parents. All this time we check what is available for kids, kids, kids. But this is one thing which every parent should know how to manage their emotions to bring up their best in their child. First of all, we manage ourselves before we manage anything with our kids. Very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much for all your time. Everything we discussed today is all the real struggles faced by the parents in the current generation. So I hope all the parents who are listening to this might have felt some shift within yourself. If at all it created something, don't stop there. It just and awareness. Start implementing in action. And for those parents who need guidance step by step on how they can implement all this in their life, they can definitely reach out to us for our future leader program. And if at all you want to build yourself on the emotion part, you can obviously contact Geeta ma'am as well. I'll be attaching all our links in the description below. Make best use of it, and let's all rise leaders. Thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, and thank you all the parents who are watching this. Thank you so much.
As we close this, I just want to end it with the saying that there is nothing which is called final. We all make mistakes, and there is always an opportunity for correction. Make those corrections and live a life well lived. So be a change maker in your family, in your society, and to the country. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much, ma'am. Be happy to make mistakes, right, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who are watching this. Yes, see you all with the next interesting podcast session. Thank you so much.